And we are extra live. What's up, everybody? Oops, I gotta leave this meeting. Sorry about that. I had a Monday meeting with some business cohort members as usual, so a little bit late getting to it. What's up, everybody? How's everyone doing tonight? Welcome to Mastermind Academy. Welcome to week. I'm never gonna remember the week. I need like a week counter somewhere.
9.
That sounds right.
I think it's 9.
I'm gonna go with 9. 9 sounds right. Yeah, welcome to week 9. We made it. We made it pretty far. So, first, I want to apologize about last week. I'm sorry I had to push things off for a number of reasons. But here's what the good thing is. Let's pull this up now. The good thing is that we're actually it's going to make things make a little more sense throughout the remainder of the course. You can move whatever you want. If you want to move that box, I can. That's great. But it's gonna make a little more sense with everything that we're doing. Before, if we didn't push things back, well, the one benefit we get from pushing things back is when we get to the projects. So we're gonna do object-oriented programming today, part 2. We're just gonna mess around with some classes. Today's not going to be crazy in depth at all. We're just gonna be, getting. I think classes are something you have to just use and get comfortable with, and just just kind of play around with it to learn. So we're just gonna get a little more hands-on with it. We're gonna take some time. Just try to build some random stuff, and then we're gonna learn some more algorithms. We're going to learn how to solve a few more types of algorithms next time. Also go through some more of our exercises. We're going to try to get through a bunch of those, some of the harder ones. Maybe we'll do 1 or 2 medium ones this time, just to kind of get some more hands-on practice. I think we've spent a good amount of time getting the tools under our belt. We're going to practice using them before we hop into our first project. But the great thing that happened with pushing things back is before, we were going to end up doing the caps, like part 1 for each of the projects on a Wednesday and then finishing it up the following Monday, which doesn't really flow all that well. So now this way, we'll start the project on the Monday, we'll finish it on the Wednesday, and then you'll have kind of the weekend, the rest of the week and the weekend to kind of just really take it in, go over things, mess around how you like, extend it how you would like, before we get to the next project. So that helps things out a little bit better. So what this basically did though, and I still put this here, I still put the bootcamp retrospective here. We're still gonna do this. We're actually gonna combine the bootcamp retrospectives. So what is a retrospective? We're gonna get to the end of the boot camps. We're gonna sit down and we're gonna talk about what we liked about it, what we didn't like, what we could have done better, what we'd like to see in the future, just to kind of find out what's wanted, different topics, things like that. So we'll just talk about, our experience over the past 12 weeks, spend a lot of time together. So that's what we'll be doing, but we'll do that in combination with the DevOps one. We'll do it one big retrospective. So I think that'll be pretty good. Yeah, and everything else. So that last week, it'll also make a little more sense because that last week will also be just about kind of, hearing from engineers, learning how to, interview, things like that, to kind of put it all together, put a bow on it, learn how you could start trying to get some jobs or how to approach, the job search process and things like that. So that should be all good. So it kind of smoothed everything out, but all the dates on the website are up to date. I did in fact put that we skipped this on here in case anyone was lost. So let me know if you have any questions about that. One thing, I'm gonna give people a few more minutes to kind of get in, get comfortable, relax. But for some reason, we got sidetracked last time and we were working on the 4 pillars of object-oriented programming, and somehow we got through 3 and we kind of we went left somehow and we did not cover the last topic. So first thing we'll do is around 8:10, we'll hop into the 4th pillar. We'll go over that, which is polymorphism, which is probably the most difficult of the concepts. We'll kind of just do a quick rehash since it has been an entire week since the last time we were looking at this stuff. And then after we go over that, we'll mess around with some classes. We'll get hands on with some stuff. But yeah, sorry if you see me dragging a bit. we were here pretty late last night, and I stayed up until about 2 yesterday, but I knew that I would not be able to work out in between like the end of my day job and kind of this time now. So I made sure to still get up and go to the gym this morning. So I'm operating off of like
fumes,
like 3.5 hours of sleep. I feel pretty good actually. To be honest, like for how long the day has been, I'm actually feeling pretty good. So I'm definitely gonna get some sleep tonight. Not a big deal. I'm not too worried about it. Like it's not something where I'm killing myself. Just a rare case last night. So I just drank some coffee. And I got some peanut M&Ms here to give me a little sugar rush.
Oh my God.
And I've got LaCroix
What are you
here.
drinking right there?
I'm drinking the lemon LaCroix, the old faithful
Here we go.
lemon LaCroix. Keep us awake, keep us hydrated throughout the stream. I did find someone tagged me on Twitter. Let me see if I can find out who tagged me on Twitter this weekend. It was amazing. I was really happy about this. But I now know that LaCroix is actually French for the Croix. Thanks to Randy Neal. Randy Neal tagged me in a post about LaCroix. It's actually French for the Croix, and that makes me like it even more. Like I love it because of that. I mean, what is that?
I have no idea.
It's amazing.
They're cool.
So learned a lot about it. But how's everyone doing? Everyone good to go? Everyone, had a relaxing weekend. Unfortunately, I went to the Maryland basketball game with my brother, and I feel like I must be bad luck because they've been doing great, and then I show up to a game, and they don't play well.
They just killed somebody.
Well, they just lost, but I'm not gonna take it too hard on myself.
Number 9. Wow.
They were number 9. I don't know if they still are number 9. Oh, still number 9?
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. So that was pretty fun. I had something else to bring you. Well, we don't actually have any new slides tonight, so I will reshare the ones from last time since we are going to be doing polymorphism. Let's hop in and let's get that ready. Let's get that ready to go. As you can see, the camera is in a bit better spot. We got a little bit better placement. If you were on the DevOps stream last night, we had all kinds of issues with the camera placement because of the room set up a little bit different, and we're actually about to move to a new office. They're cleaning it out tonight. The people who were in there just moved to another office today. Cleaning it out tonight. I probably won't move into it tomorrow. I'll probably move into it at the end of the week Friday because they have to enable. I need Ethernet, and they have to actually enable the Ethernet. The Ethernet ports are in there, but I have to actually enable it for us to use it. So I gotta wait for them to get the IT guy to come in to enable the ports.
You should also probably do that stream.
Oh yeah. Oh, thank you. We are streaming. We're doing office hours Friday. Trying to do our best to tell people when we're doing office hours. Office hours and Overwatch. We're gonna be here again on Friday, just playing some games, just relaxing. If you want to wind down from the week. It'll be a bit more structured this time, just a bit. We'll carve out time for some tech talk, just to, I don't know, and people who are showing up for that, make sure we give everyone the opportunity. Last time we just kind of went with the flow. That was cool. And that was cool. I had a good time. It was a nice wind down for me. I needed it. So it's pretty dope. So we will be doing that on Friday. Hopefully around 7, a little bit earlier, around 7. I may even just log on early and start playing Overwatch whenever if I work out in the morning, I'll probably log on early just to play some Overwatch, and you can join in whenever you want. But we will be doing that.
I kind of enjoy just watching you.
Yeah.
It's totally fine.
Cool. Maybe when we get a thing, maybe I'll try to get good. I'll try to really get good.
For American people,
I was trying. All right, so just to cover what we talked about with classes, we talked about object-oriented programming and kind of how objects work, specifically in Python. And then we talked about classes, the kind of big way that we're going to use and manage these objects. A class is basically just a blueprint for an object. It kind of just shows kind of the structure of an object, and you can use that blueprint to create objects from that. Kind of like last night when we talked about the images for Docker and spinning up containers off of each of those images. It's very similar. Very similar to that. We talked about the 4 pillars. We talked about encapsulation. So we talked about this kind of wrapped up data, these wrapped up methods that you have here. Some people call it black boxing, but yeah, encapsulation. Talked about abstraction, which is hiding the complexity, taking the complex things and kind of putting it behind, hiding it behind the things that you're going to be exposing to be able to use these classes. We talked about inheritance. So we talked about a child class, basically inheriting the traits and the things that are in a parent class. So we'll probably see some inheritance tonight. Hopefully we can practice some inheritance. And the last one that we did not cover, the one that we completely missed for some reason, I don't know how we didn't get back to this, is polymorphism. This is a very simplified term of polymorphism, but polymorphism as a concept is simply I don't know, it means a different types responsive state function. So basically, polymorphism does actually apply to more things than just classes. It's commonly talked about in object-oriented programming, but it's actually, you can have, like, most functions are actually polymorphic by nature. But it just means that so polymorphism means poly means many, or morphism means forms. So that's kind of what the word means, is many forms. And it's basically the idea that things can respond differently to the same I guess methods and functions and input. You can get different output based on those things. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into that in a second. And you like our little I don't know what this gift is from.
Warcraft, I think.
But he morphed that person into a goat or a sheep, and that is what morphing is. So I taught you something new with a gift from Warcraft.
That's something I don't know.
Yeah. So pretty simple. I don't think the concepts here are at face value super wild, super like crazy complicated to understand. I think sometimes you have to see them in the context of how they work to start to understand them. So I may try to call those things out today if I can remember. But yeah, let's go through and let's hop in. So let's do a very simple polymorphism thing. Do you actually have anything you want to say about polymorphism in particular?
So, hey guys. So as soon as you brought this up, two things come to mind. Just being a programmer, static and dynamic, as far as like the different types of polymorphism. Static would be, I think that's method overloading, and I think method overriding would be the dynamic. So it doesn't know until runtime which one to actually call if you override the method. If you overload it, it knows at compile time essentially. So that's just immediately comes to mind as a programmer. Those are pretty simple examples.
I'll see if we can incorporate that. Let's hop into some code right now, and let's see if we can make that make sense. So just to first show you that, let's go in our documents, go into our suite folder. Also, you're definitely gonna get some time back tonight. Tonight's not super long.
No, we're going long. We are going long.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. It's not designed to. Tonight's not designed to be super structured. Wednesday will be like, because I want to solve a couple of problems. I kind of want to go in depth with what we're doing on Wednesday. Be prepared for the full 2 hours Wednesday, if not longer. If you want to stick around for that on Wednesday, but tonight won't be that crazy. Where do I want to go? Mastermind.
I really want to go in depth with this when we start to go.
When we get to the so yes, that, but we will. So we are focusing on classes now. Again, taking what you can take in now. We are going to be using classes a lot during the. We are going to be using classes a lot during both of the. What are those things called? The projects. Again, the first project, pretty simple, is not pretty simple, but is a game of blackjack. Right. I'm gonna give you. I have stub code ready for you all to kind of run through that, but I want you to just be familiar when we kind of hop into that. I really think that project is going to supercharge you and make you feel kind of empowered when we get to the next one. I'm also going to provide stub code for the second project, but again, the second project is going to be a little. It's going to be a little bit bigger, and it's actually. I'm actually hoping we don't finish it. But I'm hoping we get to a place where it's a working application, but doesn't have all of the functionality that we kind of have in our initial document of things, to give everyone some opportunity of to practice and to go off and have. Like, one of the hardest things to do is like know what to work on when you're first trying to learn this stuff and trying to practice this stuff. So hopefully that gives you your first step of like, all right, let me see if I can go implement these 5 things, add these 5 things onto the thing that we already built together. And then again, we can use, Discord and Slack to work with each other and see what we can do. I do know what the project is.
Oh, snap! It's a secret.
Yep, it is. It's not a secret. It's not a secret. I don't want people thinking about it until after. Yeah, already. Yeah. We're gonna learn some. We're gonna be introducing lots of extra concepts. We're gonna be doing some web stuff. We're gonna be pulling. We're gonna be using Beautiful Soup. We're gonna be doing some web scraping and some other stuff that it's kind of fun and common with Python. That'll teach you a little bit more about how to use modules and things like that. But yeah, it'll be fun.
Funny. Somebody asked me to whiteboard a blackjack game at a coding interview.
See,
so this is like perfect.
Perfect.
Crazy.
Cool. What's up? What we coding? We're just gonna be we're gonna be just some class stuff. What's up, Zeke MC? 3 hours minimum. The thing is, I'm good on the 3 hour. Like, I used to think that was wild. It's so crazy how fast time goes by when we're doing these. Like, I feel bad on the DevOps ones that I tell people 2 hours and we almost never get out in 2 hours. I feel genuinely bad about that. But learning experience next time as a DevOps, I will definitely better estimate the DevOps or the harder concepts, the things that I know are going to take a while. I've done them enough now to know which ones are going to take a while. So I will definitely be more strategic about that. Also might change up the timing. I'm actually going to be, when we get to the retro portion of this, when we kind of get to the end, I am looking for feedback on hours. We're going to be trying to cater to different time zones and stuff soon as well. So we'll just find out what times are best for people and like when people could, like, this was kind of, we defaulted at this time because it was like, all right, get off work late. You go work out, hang out with your family. It's like, this is the time that like makes sense for both me and hopefully other people. So I don't know if there are better times, if earlier works better for people. We're going to figure all that out. We're definitely gonna be doing some research on that. There is, there's polls.
I like that.
There are polls. So we'll do a poll. We'll figure all that stuff out. But cool. I'm gonna make my own streaming platform with blackjack and hookers. Hey, I mean, that sounds like a great streaming platform. I will happily leave Twitch to come to your streaming platform that has blackjack and hookers, which sounds like Vegas. But I'll come there. I'll stream off of whatever. Gotta give people what they like. Gotta give people what they want. Bro. Last night's bull story leaves me hoping for a goat story tonight. I don't have a goat story.
An epic story, bro.
I might give an abridged version. Is bridge longer? Shorter. I might give an abridged version of the bull story tonight for people at the end. But cool. Absolutely. Thank you for the kind words. All right, so let's do it. I got if you guys didn't, I always forget. DevOps was last night. We struggled with the camera placement last night. We also struggled with the server, the Synergy server for my mouse and my keyboard. So everything's working just fine.
There we go.
Tonight. So we're miles ahead of where we were yesterday.
Did you figure out what the problem was?
Yeah, it was already connected and I was trying to reconnect. And so it was connecting and then blocking the connection. So if I had just moved the mouse, I would have seen that it was working. Man, yesterday was it was wild. All right, so we want to go into streams, and let's go back into our Python. I think we have a classes folder in here as well. So let's vim a polymorphism polymorphism.py. So I'm not a software developer, so with all the stuff that he said about dynamic and static stuff, I think I know what he's talking about, and I'm gonna see if we can develop some. We can put some examples together real quick. But first, sure. So cool. So there's a million common ways people try to talk about classes and build classes. One of the simpler ways that I kind of learned when someone was trying to really explain to me polymorphism was something like animal sound. So let's say we had a class for like a dog. I'm gonna put doggy because it sounds better, cooler. Doesn't sound cooler at all, but It does. And we're just gonna put a function in here for speak. No, we'll put it for sound. That's fine. For sound, what does it take? I think it just takes self. And what sound? You know, let's take it back to the grade school days. What sound does a doggy make? A doggy makes a woof 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 bark. That's what sound a doggy makes. So we're gonna print woof roof roof.
Oh my god.
That's the sound a doggy makes. All right, where my dog's at?
Where my dog's at?
Bark with me now. Little bow wow. All right.
Bow wow.
Man, look. Let me be great.
I'll let you go.
All right. We got dog sounds because you need the dog sound. So what other animals make noises? Obviously,
Cats.
You gotta have
Kitty.
the kitty sounds. And we're gonna keep it PG here, guys. All right, def sound. Also gonna take self. Maybe it doesn't need to take self, but I'm pretty sure it needs to take self. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna print meow.
Ooh.
Yeah. I might as well just be the voice of what's that, Life of Pets 3? I think I should do all of the pet noises. So we're gonna print, cats say meow. We're gonna do cows. So, this is perfect. This might be the perfect time to tell the bull story, but I'm not going to because it will sidetrack us. So just for anyone, shout out to anyone who was on last night. Emily the bull is gonna be this class.
I actually want to hear that story again. It was so good.
I'll tell it at the end, maybe, and I'll tell it shorter. Emily the bull made the sound. What sound did you make, Emily? You made the sound of
death.
No, man, come on.
No, I'm
Moo.
sorry. I didn't mean that.
You hurt my heart.
I didn't mean that, bro.
Pull them heartstrings.
Should I take Emily?
Let's go with one last one, and let's make a ducky. All right, and ducky makes the sound self, and ducky makes the sound of Quizzack. Quizzack, I'm the duck. Yeah. All right. So we got all these sounds. We have these classes for each of these animals that we have here. Doggy, kitty, Emily the bull, and Ducky here. We got Snoop Dogg's duck. Yeah, this is Snoop Dogg's duck. Snoop's duck. I like that. Snoop's ducky. Caps lock on. Snoop's ducky. Says Quizzack.
Snoop have a duck?
He has a duck now.
Oh, it's Quizzack. I get it.
All right.
I get it.
So, polymorphism is, you can see here that all of these different classes actually have the same method. They all have a sound method, which is interesting. So, what would happen if I had a function here? Notice this is not a class. I'm writing a normal Python function. Hope I did this right. Makes sense in my mind. And maybe the function is called animal sound. An animal sound takes basically it takes an animal name. And again, remember this this receptor right here. This is simply a variable for something that you want to pass into the function. So we haven't talked about functions specifically in a while. So we're creating a function using the def keyword. Same thing we did all up here, and we're calling that animal sound. And we're taking in a parameter. We're taking in an argument called animal name, which could be anything. And then we can just say, go ahead and run animal name dot sound. All right. That's going to be our function right here. So we have this function that kind of encapsulates everything that we kind of did up here. So what's going to happen if we run this? If we run animal sound, actually, I think we got to set it to something first. Like if we did dog equals, actually I think we can just run it, I think. We'll see in a second. So doggy dot sound. Let's see what happens. Actually, I don't even need to print it because I'm already printing something. Let's just see what happens if we do this. Let's see if we get the actual thing or if we get the method. I mean the object like signature. All right, so type error. I said it was going to take self. I actually don't think I need self, to be honest. All right, so I'm gonna remove self from all these things. I'm gonna make an instance of dog in a second. If I make an instance of dog, it would need self, I believe. I just took it away just to see some output really quick. So I could do something like, we're gonna do a doggy that's named, our dog's name is gonna be Rex. That dog that was friends with the bull, if you're watching last night, that dog's name was in fact Rex. So we can make we can make Rex an instance of doggy, And if we make that, I think we can just do animal sound. We can pass in Rex into it. So what does this look like? So we've created an instance of doggy, of this right here, called it Rex. And then we took Rex, we took an instance of this class, and we're passing it into animal sound. So it's gonna go into this function here, and essentially be the animal name. And then this function is gonna call animal name.sound. So it doesn't know that this is here, it's just gonna call animal name.sound. So let's try to run this and see what happens. When we run this, we get woof and rough. So let's take a look at that really quick, and let's see kind of what, let's see if we can, just make sure we understood what happened here. We defined a class called doggy, as well as some others, but we'll focus on doggy class for now. We went down here and we actually created an instance of this class. So we have a class. Class doesn't really do anything by itself. We instantiated this class. We made an instance of this class, and we gave it the name Rex. We assigned it to the name Rex. So Rex is now an instance of this doggy class. So we took this instance of the doggy class and we passed it into the function that we made here, which is animal sound. We use the animal name variable, and we're calling the dot sound, method on here. And when we pass that in, it basically says, hey, you are of basically doggy class. The doggy class does in fact have a method called sound. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna execute that, and you get woof rough here. So that's great, super nice, really exciting. That's great. But that in itself isn't polymorphism yet, or you haven't seen what is polymorphism yet. What happens if we make an instance of I had a cat named Shadow.
I love that name.
We had a cat named Socks and Shadow. Socks had the
white
feetsies, her feet, she had white feet. They're still alive, actually. I got them in the 6th grade. Wow. So they're pretty old, but they're still alive.
They're living their best life.
Shadow would actually be an instance of Kitty instead. So now creating a completely different thing. What happens if I call the same function? What if I call animal sound again, or animal name, and I call it, oh no, it's animal sound, sorry. Animal sound, and I call it with Shadow now. If I do that, we get woof, rough, and we get meow. So basically what we have here is we have the exact same function. We have the same function providing different output. It's through the code that we created, it's providing what you may call inconsistent output from what you thought may happen, but it's allowing us to modify the output based on the input. And again, like I said before, like actually most functions, functions are kind of inherently polymorphic. If you have like an addition function that takes in 2 parameters, that isn't like you're gonna get different output every time if you pass in different numbers. That is a form of polymorphism, not the same polymorphism, that quite the same as we're talking about when we are working with classes, or kind of the concept is a little bit harder to grasp when we're working with classes. But it is the same kind of mini forms type thing. So let's go ahead and do it with everything. So Emily, the name Emily will in fact be Emily the Bull. An instance of Emily the Bull. Snoop's duck's name will be what's a good duck name? Give me a good duck name, because I need it. I need the name of the most famous duck. Daffy. It can't be Donald.
Daffy.
Can't be Daffy.
Oh, Daffy?
Actually, it can definitely be Daffy. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Really thinking of it.
Howard. I like Howard. Howard would be the name of Snoop Dogg's duck. So Snoop Ducky.
Stone Ducky.
And
Beijing. I like Beijing.
I like
Beijing
that too.
Goes.
I like that. All right. And then we need to go ahead and we need to call animal sounds on both of them. And whoa, don't do that to me. Emily and animal sound on Howard, the duck. And so I think we can see the pattern here is that because based on the instance that we created from this, based on how we instantiated these things, these are all of a different class. So Emily the Bull is of Emily the Bull. Emily is Emily the Bull class. That's why when it gets down here and it calls dot sound, it's calling the sound that is referenced in each of these classes, because these are all instances of these individual classes. And so I will say, so we get, different things here. We get Quizzack from the duck, and moo and meow and woof rough, all by calling the same function. So we were able to morph. We were able to give this many forms. We were able to make it take action kind of based on how we set things up. So this is a very simplified example of polymorphism. It's useful. It is useful at times. It can also be confusing sometimes to debug, to backtrace through. Sometimes, just because you do have functions that, you might see this function called 3 times and be expecting it to do certain things, but not realize that you have to kind of move backwards a bit and see what kind of class something was instantiated off of. But that in itself is polymorphism. Again, I would write it down. I would look at a few videos of it, and I would look to see how people are using examples of it for valuable things. I don't have an example offhand of a valuable moment where I would use polymorphism, but maybe. So
in this example here, can we make a def function called sound and have it accept maybe, I don't know, animal name, and then have another def function called sound and accept animal name and some other variable?
So you're saying this?
Yeah.
Sound. Yeah. What does it take?
And then, I don't know, animal name or whatever.
Yeah.
And then have whatever instance out of that. Whatever you want to do inside of that. We're essentially going to have 2 functions though called sound.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying? That's essentially
so another function called sound?
Yep. And then animal name and then comma whatever. Yeah, that's fine.
You said it.
Yeah, that's fine.
You said it, I did it.
Right. And so then the Emily the Bull class whoever actually calls the sound, you can actually pass in the 1 variable or the 2 variable, and it'll know at compile time.
Oh, which one to use.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
So that's what we want to do.
Gotcha.
So those functions can do whatever. I just don't know what.
Gotcha. So Emily, okay, I gotcha. So in here we can say something like just print you called
boom. Yep.
The first sound function. What's up, K95650? Thank you for the follow. I need to put let me put this over here. We can do overloading in a second.
This is essentially overloading.
Yeah. But you can also do, and then this one will just be.
This is what.
This
Yeah.
is the second function.
What is this? What are we talking like this for?
I don't know.
I love it.
This is the second function. This is the first. You call the first function. This is the second one. So, so in here, doesn't really, these don't really matter up here, but that's fine. So if I called like Rex, and didn't call anything else, but then down here I call
exactly. And this is like static polymorphism, at least in my head. Sure. Usually when I code, but yeah.
Sure. So sound Rex, comma, hello.
Hello, yeah. Boom.
I'll delete these quick. All right, so we should get two different things here.
Missing one required
positional argument.
Let's see.
Maybe this is not something you do in Python. I've never seen this. I've actually never seen this before. I've never done this. So it seems like it tried to call sound, but it didn't know to call this. It seems like it's trying to pull the second one. But it seems like I wonder if I switch these around.
That should work.
I wonder if I switch it around if it'll do the first one, not the second one. And it does the first one.
Positional argument.
And not the second one. So Python may not.
Python has a support, right?
I don't know. I don't know if it does.
Folks, what are we doing wrong here?
I don't think it.
It has to be. Let me see. Hold on.
I'll check it out. I'm gonna comment. I'm gonna just comment these for now. I think I understand what we're trying to do here. That's it. That's interesting. But that's more of polymorphisms via object-oriented programming in classes. That's more of just polymorphism as a word, as a concept, period. Again, like I said, the polymorphism also works functionally.
Python does not support method overloading.
Oh, well, there we go. He found it. But here's what I was talking about. You don't need to know the ins and outs of each language. You'll run into stuff. You'll be able to take things back and forth. You'll find out things like this that don't kind of work.
That's exactly what you said. We may overload the methods, but can only use the latest defined method.
Only use the latest defined. Cool. So we learned something about.
I learned something in Python.
We learned something about Python. But as you can see here, hopefully you just kind of understand the concept of being able to get different output based on how you kind of develop these things. And again, you can actually use you might be really trying to figure out how polymorphism is useful. You can definitely find there's definitely useful scenarios for it. You can do, I think you can do method overriding in Python. Maybe not. It's always possible to try and call methods that don't exist. It'll throw exception, but won't compile. Okay. What language give you custom functions that you define that everyone happens to know? Variables in the context exists, so it doesn't run. Oh. You guys give me all the names. I really like Beijing. Beijing is good. We're using Beijing eventually.
It does support it.
So apparently it does support it. Go ahead and give me a.
This is method overriding. Parent class, child class.
Oh yeah. So that's what we were trying to do at the same time. Is that using like the super constructor? No, not even.
No, it just has that. The child class.
All right. So
we can easily do that one.
So you're saying let's set that up real quick. So basically, we're saying what it didn't work before was this method overriding. But we're gonna try something really quick. See if we can. Again, I told you we're gonna be messing around tonight. This is exciting. Yeah, the duck contact. I like that. So I can be used. Oh, you actually gave me. There we go. Oh, is this what you clicked on?
What is that?
This is something that Block 7 sent.
Is this overriding or overloading? Overloading. Here we go.
User defined functions. All right.
I really didn't know you couldn't do that in Python. Interesting. Oh.
So cool. Let's see if let's mess around with it. Let's see if we get it wrong, we get it right. It'll be better. So for the example, walk me through the example that you have.
Okay.
So like let's say this was a class animal instead.
Beautiful. Yeah, perfect.
And maybe it didn't take anything, and maybe this was
They have a little constructor too. I don't know if you want to do that.
like
Whatever.
Yep. I would take self, and then I'll just give it like the animal's like a name. The animal's gonna have a name. I don't know why the animal's gonna have a name, but the animal's gonna have a name. And that name is gonna be equal to it's gonna be equal to, I think it's supposed to be name equals like, by default the animal's name is gonna be Beijing.
Beijing.
because
yes,
I said
that.
I was gonna use it. But if not, so we're gonna have a bunch of animals named Beijing.
And then you have a method inside of animal.
All right, so
something.
okay, so just
and then like a print, yeah.
def
Show name.
introduce.
Allow me to
Introduce myself. Our animals are going to be able to introduce themselves.
I love it.
So we need to take. Actually, it doesn't even
it.
take self. You can just take name. I want to introduce myself, and I want to say print. Hello, sirs and madams. Kababite.
Yo.
Hold on. My name is. Don't give it self that. I can just give it a name. I pass it.
Yeah, you already passed it in.
My name is, and I have to F. I think I have to F this.
Beautiful.
Are we doing built-in functions or the user-defined functions? I'm going off what he's telling me to do. Which one are we doing?
What are you reading at? What are we talking about?
Are we doing the built-in functions or the user-defined functions?
I have no idea.
I think user-defined.
We're defining it.
Yeah, we're defining it. I don't know what that means.
I have no idea what that means.
All right, so we're gonna have a class of animals, and our animals can introduce themselves.
Yep.
And so let's say we have a kitty class that actually takes in it takes an animal. Do I have to put parentheses here? I can't remember. I never remember.
No, just like that.
Just take an animal. All right. And so do I have to do another constructor here?
They do in this example. I don't know if that's required though.
But I feel like when we did this last time, it didn't work.
We tried. You tried to do it without the super or something like that.
Yeah.
We're gonna find out.
I thought we were running down the same path.
No.
Okay. So it's gonna take so just like this. Not self.
Beautiful.
All right.
And then that constructor does.
It can do anything. What's it gonna do?
It can do the exact same thing.
Is it gonna take something new?
No, it can do the exact same thing that the parent class did actually. What?
What do you mean? Like
this.
ever introduce myself?
How they have inside parent, a child, do whatever. Like something very similar.
Oh, that's what we did not do last time. Some of them can still be named, but they give it a default value.
Yeah, they just said it right. They just hard coded it inside that child. That parent. We probably want to do something to know which one it's. Make sure the print statements are different actually for the introduce.
Okay.
Part.
All right. I like that. I just want to see this work real quick. I'm actually learning right now, so I just want to. This is interesting.
And then
I'm going to delete all this.
Yeah, introduce myself again.
Huh. And then so you're saying call a kitty class.
Do another def introduce myself because you're gonna override that method.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't have. Well, okay, I see what you mean. But can I? Okay, and then same thing. Just
you can do print self.name since it's my child. That's what we want to see. Anyway. The first one's gonna be hello, sirs, madams. My name is blah, and then I'm inside child.
Print. Introduce myself. No, wait. Self.name.
Print
or just name.
Yeah, self.name.
Or self.name. So do I end up passing?
Beautiful.
I don't need name here then. Can I use self here?
Yeah. Perfect.
And so you're saying now.
Should the first one accept name or self?
Huh?
Should the first one, the parent one, accept self or name? For the introduce myself.
I don't know. This seems right. I don't know if it needs self.name or just name, but if it's You're saying take self and down here put self.name?
No.
I'm about to just run it. Hold on, I'm about to just instantiate one. And so we're gonna do Rex again. And we're gonna say Rex equals a kitty.
Animal.
Nope.
Animal.
We gotta stay all right, so Rex will be an animal. Because he would that dog was an animal. He was a
You told me he was wild.
He was a wild boy.
English, what was it? Pointer?
He was an English pointer, English setter, English pointer, hunting dog. He was a wild boy. First, we knew he was gonna be wild because the first night we got him, he jumped down the whole stairs. He jumped down. We had a lot of stairs.
Are you kidding me? How many stairs was that?
Huh?
How many stairs was that?
Like maybe 10, like 10 stairs.
That's craziness.
Yeah. So okay.
And then instantiate kitty.
And then instantiate kitty. So shadow. Keep it
PG.
well and keep it consistent with what we did before. But animal, we'll leave it as Beijing. But what happens if I do like? What happens if I do like this?
I have no idea.
It should override anyway, even though it shouldn't matter. Let's do it without it first. Let's see what output we get. And then we gotta print these things.
And then it calls each one of those Rex dot introduce myself, and then it calls shadow dot introduce myself.
All right, that makes sense.
That's essentially what we want to do. I'm just
this just feels like this is right. Yeah, I think
it's a simple method overriding.
Lowered bit, low word
Yes,
bit. I was gonna say I feel like we're just going through a example of inheritance. To be honest, but hello sirs and madams, my name is okay. So you're right, name doesn't work. I think I could take self, and I think I could do self.name here.
Yeah, that looks good.
All right, there we go.
Boom. Yeah.
Okay. That's overriding right there. So let's take a look back at what happened here. Yeah, but this is inheritance and overriding. This isn't polymorphism though. But that's fine. That's fine. We're just
method overriding considered polymorphism though. It's like
is
one of the
it?
principles. Yeah. Method overriding and overloading.
Okay. Learn something new again.
Yeah. This is the overriding. So this I believe is dynamic. It's not known at compile time. Which one? At least that's how I think it's how it works in Java and C#. I'm pretty sure it's the same thing in Python.
Okay. Yeah, it's only on the runtime. Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. I can, and this is what we missed before. This is why we weren't doing another self dot.
I don't know what we had before. Actually,
we weren't doing this piece, and I think this is what was stopping us. That's interesting. Can you extend from here? Like, what if I did like
yeasty goodness. One is static, one is dynamic. Yes, yeasty goodness.
Cool. What if gotcha. So what if I can I extend it? I'm just asking. Can I extend these? Do you know if I can extend this? Like, what if this takes? Can this take something else? Like an age? I think this is what takes a super. If you want to extend, extend like this. Leave age, and then age is a stupid name. I don't think you can extend this way. You know, sometimes you just gotta try. You gotta just try it out.
Joy of programming.
I don't know if that's a joy.
It's the joy of programming.
I don't know if that's the
experimentation.
The joy of it. Introduce my age. All right, Shadow. We don't have to pass anything in because I don't have a default. But then I would have to pass in everything. I'm going to set a default first.
You're not passing anything.
34-year-old cat because.
Are there cat years like dog years?
I don't know.
Is that a real thing?
Yeah, it takes a positional, so you can. Maybe it does. Maybe I'll probably have to pass in everything like a.
No, that's.
Well, so it takes self. Maybe I could just pass in
age. Yeah.
34.
Try that. I think I was playing about one. No.
Oh! Right here. That was dumb. sometimes you just don't be paying attention. So I need to pass in something when I instantiate the class. Okay.
Okay.
So you can override that way. All right, cool. That's interesting.
It's a little simple dynamic.
I'm just trying to figure out what we were doing before. I feel like we did. I feel like this is what we did.
I forgot what we did, bro.
I'm gonna look at that video and I'm gonna compare it to this because this is what I was trying to do, and it was not working at all. Not even a little bit. Cool. That was exciting.
A little dynamic, yeah.
But that is. So now that's we dove into some polymorphism. Now what we're gonna do.
We can do design. We can do a simple design pattern, Singleton, or
cool.
Unless you just want to go into.
No, that sounds good to me.
So the Singleton. Hold on, let me look.
Go ahead and give
a little synopsis.
I can learn this while you're. I'm learning this while he's talking about it.
So Singleton.
This is why. So just want you to be clear. We're still gonna announce officially
the Golang course.
The Golang course, but like we're still gonna announce officially Terrence
role.
Terrence has kind of been here. We're gonna talk about Terrence here, but Terrence really specializes in software, and I know enough software, but that's not my specialty. And like the thing that I like the most are the DevOps things, are the systems things, are the cloud computing things. And while I will still teach a lot of these things as well, having the expertise of a true software engineer is really going to be valuable.
Yes.
Yeah, and so we'll be able to create much better content, having kind of a full span of expertise across the board. So just a little plug there for this guys.
Yeah. Yo, we need a security person too. We need to cover everything, yo. Yeah. I'm pretty sure some people already know what this is. But Singleton is a really good design pattern. I use it usually when I only want one instance of a class floating around. Usually it's for input-output. When I'm writing to a file or when I'm loading something from the system or whatever, I only need one instance of that class. There's no sense in having 5 class instances that can all write to a file. Or if it's a huge class and I only want one instance, I would just create a Singleton around it because I don't want, usually in Java, it'll just blow the JVM. If you have something that takes up you have a bunch of variables defined and it just eats up all your freaking RAM, I'll just follow the Singleton pattern. And usually it's a private constructor, and you have a public getter method, and then it'll check to see, and then you have a variable, a static variable of that class instance defined outside. So you have a private constructor, a static class variable, and then you have a public getter method, and the public getter method inside of that method will say if this static variable equals null, call the private constructor within that class.
Can you go a little bit into
What's
all
up?
the words that you said, specifically about public getter methods and private constructors?
Yeah, sure.
I think those will be valuable for the listener.
For sure. So I'm not sure how it works in Python. Again, my background is Java, C#. I've done a little bit of Python. My most recent project was Golang. That was a fantastic programming language. Anybody who wants to code, or I wouldn't say jump into Go, but you will not regret it. It's a fantastic language. So a private constructor is, we all know what constructors is. Usually they're public. Private constructor usually only gets called within that class that it's defined in. Only that class has or can call that, and it's based on the keyword private, which obviously only, it's just like variables and things like that. Only that class can actually access those things. Nothing outside of that package can access it. No other class outside of that class is defined in can access it. It's private. It's just like a private variable. So that's essentially what a private constructor is. Just like a basic constructor, just private with the keyword. You know what I mean? What's up?
Lower bit is, I don't think you can do private.
No, I feel so unqualified in Python.
I mean,
Let's Google it. Let's Google it. Can you? We can't.
Python.
Just stay tuned for the Golang one and the Java and the C#.
I think that's still valuable.
Okay, for sure. So we're right now Googling if we can do a private method in Python. which we'll find out. But anyway, so that's essentially the private constructor. And then the second piece of the singleton pattern, you want to have a private. Can we do it? No, I don't know. Private methods. I'm not sure. But the second part would be actually I don't know if the variable itself of that class instance has to be private, but it definitely should be static. You want a static instance of that class instance. So you have your private constructor and you have a static variable of that class instance. And now the third piece is a public getter method. And this is just like a public setter and a public getter. Public getter can be called by any other class outside of this class that we're about to define. And that will return a public instance of that class. So you'll have a public getter, and inside of that method, you'll have a check for that private variable that I talked about earlier. And you'll just say a simple if x equals null, then you'll create that constructor, or you'll call that constructor to create that actual class instance. And then the else, you'll just say if it's not null, just return. So it's a public getter. So it's just gonna return a public instance of that class essentially. And the key thing about singleton pattern is, again, you don't want to have a lot of if for whatever reason you don't want to have a lot of instances of this class. Again, for me, it's usually the first thing I think of when I do input and output. When I'm writing to a file, I don't need to have 5 things that can write to a file. It's a serial process anyway, so why do I need 5 instances of this? And it's just cleaner. It's really a good design pattern, because usually when other programmers, they see singleton, they know, oh, I already know what this does. I already know that this is something that's probably a serial process or something that's gonna hog up a lot of memory. And that's really when you want to use a singleton pattern. Again, why would you even do design patterns in the first place? For me, usually these things, when I first started coding, I didn't understand why I would want to do any kind of design patterns. And I've, after a while, realized that these things have been designed by people way smarter than me, and I should just follow suit and just use what's already out there. So it's just really, really, I don't know, it's just a really cool thing.
What's up, C? We got rated.
Oh, do we?
We did.
Hey.
What's up, CM Griffin? Welcome. Thank you. As usual, we're gonna let people get past the initial what are those things called? The initial ads. But what's up, everybody coming in from CM Griffin? Welcome. What were you guys watching tonight? What are you guys doing? I'm always interested to see when people come on over. I don't know. Oh yeah. There's been a thing going around that you were an intern.
Oh snap! I'll take that. I'll take that love. It's all good. But yeah.
Also, 202 Shell, I'm gonna give you some info. If you do exclamation point YouTube, you can go back and check the kind of format in which we've done things in the past. We basically cover things via some slides at first. We have topics laid out. 12 weeks. Right now, the boot camps are 12 weeks. There are going to be some smaller workshops set up in between. But 12 weeks, right now we're doing both Python, Introduction to Python, a boot camp, as well as a Introduction to DevOps boot camp. So I'm a DevOps engineer by trade, so cloud computing, automation, the processes of DevOps, being able to create, CI/CD pipelines, things like that. But we're really going to try to cater to everything that exists around the software development lifecycle. So things like QA, software testing is actually super valuable in learning how to write real tests, and we'll learn how to do TDD, things like that. Things like Scrum mastering and how to work on an agile project, how kind of sprints work, get people familiar with what the day-to-day is like. But yeah, just all the kind of things that go into software development. And again, so right now, these are the things that we have available. Cloud computing and a kind of a full scope computer science course is kind of next, probably specifically targeting Golang. There's a bunch of stuff. So if you head over to the YouTube channel, you can kind of see what we've done so far. There's a playlist there for that. And then if you go to academy.mastermind.io, you can kind of see some other stuff there. So if you also have any questions, just reach out. Reach out and ask away. We like to have fun on here too. So like we want to make this kind of approachable. Like, you know, we want you to see, like I want you to see that like I don't know everything, and the people teaching you don't always know everything. There's a lot that's involved in tech, and you don't got to be this robot who memorized everything. And hopefully through us like seeing us Google stuff like this right now, not being sure what exactly is available to us in Python because we use other languages day to day. I hope it's going to start to be valuable and helps you be comfortable, helps everyone be comfortable, you know, diving into learning new stuff and not being afraid of it, because it can be super intimidating. Like
in the beginning,
I would have got to a page like this and been like, bruh, look at this. Look, what is this? Like, what is this? Like, what are they talking about here? It was just a lot of words on the page, but you really start to really understand what's going on. It's really just it's simple patterns and compounded knowledge.
Yeah, dude.
And it ends up equaling.
It builds.
What's up, Golden Child? How you doing?
I have to say,
welcome everybody to the channel for sure. There's 69 people here, and that's funny, but this is still a PG show. What's up, Jumping Worm? Welcome. I haven't seen you on here in a while. What's up, man? How you doing?
Jumping Worm?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, man?
All right. So let's go ahead and see if we can create the singleton. So I'm learning here. I don't. Again, these are computer science concepts. I've heard of singletons before. Never really had to worry about using them. Yeah. So I would like you to walk me through.
Yeah, for sure.
Creating a singleton class here, or at least get as close as we can.
I'm not even sure if we can do this in Python. Apparently, somebody shot that down earlier.
No. You can definitely create a
class singleton. Hold on,
maybe it's a different paradigm.
Scroll up a bit. Get instance singleton. Okay, instance none. Get instance none. Yep, that's exactly kind of. Yeah, that's essentially it. That exact example. They have their.
Let's steal it and let's modify it. Let's steal it.
Let's steal it and modify it. Yeah.
Let's steal it and let's modify it.
And I'll just explain through what it's actually doing.
Excellent. So we're
perfect.
So this is very specifically I have another mic that
we need another mic.
Yeah. But I have a what's that thing called? I forgot what I was gonna say. I forgot, so I'm just gonna go and do what I said. Completely forgot. So let's create a new file here.
Singleton, yeah. Single, I don't know.
69 people. Oh, there were 76 at the time. Yeah. Oh, there's 76 now. Yeah. There are 76 now. There was 69 showing on my little Stream Deck thing here.
PG.
Singleton.py. All right, so let's paste it in. It is okay to copy code to learn. Like, don't feel like you got to type everything in. I would if you're really trying to get some muscle memory going, and things like that. Like, I would encourage that when you're really trying to really get good. But if you kind of got those things down and you just want to focus on the concept of what you're learning, feel free to copy the code that's given to you. And code is it's a great learning method to go ahead and modify code that already exists. That's why I'm going to give everyone some stub code for the projects. You guys asked for it. I think it was a great idea of asking for that instead of us walking through each piece. It'll allow us to get done faster, and I also think it'll give you a framework to really understand what we're doing as we're going through it. But cool. All right, so we got this class singleton, and we're gonna look at it for a second. We're gonna run it, and we're gonna see what's kind of happening.
Yeah, let's run it first, and then I'll definitely break it down.
Singleton. We get this what looks like a constructor that we've seen with the init, but it's only two on the left. We learned about different types, so we learned about none types. We haven't seen this yet. This is not something that we've seen, so we'll talk about that in a second. And it looks like we have a function here.
Get instance would be the actual public method that I was describing earlier.
Okay.
It's gonna check to see if that actual variable, that instance variable, it's gonna see if it's none. I was saying null earlier, and then it's gonna actually call that private constructor singleton. Else, it's just gonna return that instance variable on that object. So it's gonna check and see if it's none, call it. If it's not none, it's gonna just hit that singleton dot instance, that part where your mouse is right there.
Which is basically okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah. So it's checked if it's null. If it's null, call it. Else, if it's not null, just return that.
Okay.
I believe that's what's happening.
Let's run this, and it says this class is a singleton. Raise an exception. What does it do otherwise? Let's run it. Let's see what happens.
Again, guys, I'm not the Python expert, so.
Okay, so missing parentheses to call print. Did you mean print S?
Wait, copy this straight from the.
Is this Python?
This is broke from the internet?
I mean,
No.
yeah. Or maybe there's like a paradigm in a different
Hold on, let me charge my.
version. He's going to get his charger. When we run it, we do get a bunch of Singleton objects. We get some objects here. So we've seen object signatures like this previously. And so we can get information out of this if we need to, but let's figure out what information is even in these things at all. So, and so what's the use case for a Singleton? Why would you want to use something like this?
So again, like the use case for me, usually when I'm coding and I think about using a Singleton, it's either one or two things. It's either if I'm writing to a file or if I'm reading from a file from my file system, I don't need 5 instances of a class floating around. It's just good design patterns, good software practices just to have a single instance of a class when you need it. Another thing is when you know a class is going to take up a lot of memory, especially in Java, that JVM will blow up. Even though you can change it, you can tweak it 512 to a gigabyte. I try not to do that. When I was coding in Java, I try to keep it down. I don't want my programs to eat up all this RAM space. You know what I mean? I don't need that. So usually, if I know it's going to take up a lot of memory, I'll have one instance. So whoever's consuming my class, they're going to get that one instance. They're not going to create 5 instances of something. You know what I mean?
Okay, got it. That makes a lot of sense to me. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yes.
Jumping Worm. Our numbers are pretty high tonight for sure. Our record though actually came in the first 2 streams. Usually this is how the 12-week boot camps go. I've only run it once before, but it's super high in the beginning. Like day 1, the week 1 is pretty high. We got up to like 115 on one of the streams the first week. I think we've only been in the triple digits. We've been in the triple digits like 3 times. But this is definitely top 5% of streams so far. So this is definitely pretty dope.
Hey.
But garbage question. This makes sense. This is actually great for me. So I know.
Have you ever used a design pattern before when you're coding?
Yeah. Okay. I've used design patterns before, for sure. But I've never used Singleton. I get it. This makes sense. And again, usually I want to know why I would use it. That makes perfect sense. I get that. I think it's interesting because the applications that I've developed aren't necessarily that resource intensive, so I generally don't have to worry about that. But this makes some sense. I think this is also worth incorporating into shameless plug. We are doing an advanced Golang training at GopherCon, the kind of premier Golang conference in June. It's in June, and it's actually in June in Florida. But we're giving the advanced next level Go course. It talks about a lot of making your code fast and efficient. People can develop Go code, but how do you really take it to the next level? So we're gonna be doing that, doing things like tracing and doing things like profiling and benchmarking and things like that. So
and all that good stuff.
Concurrency, talk about channels and
I need to learn
all that stuff. So
pretty
simple. I'll show you through it. But yeah, just want to throw that out there for you all. So this is cool. You're using SDK that provides, say, a client you initialize once.
You've used a Singleton. That's correct.
Thank you for contextualizing that for me. That's great. That's interesting. That makes sense.
Yeah, man.
Respect. Hold on. I need to see your name is Blue, like super blue. So I can't read it.
012345.
I appreciate that. That actually helped. Oh yeah, there goes different color here. Thank you. That makes sense. AWS client that makes perfect sense. And that is the exact reason why I tell you all to go, when you're learning about this stuff, yes, I'm happy that you're learning from me, but you should go out and listen to videos, listen to people explain it in different ways, because someone will say it in a way that really puts it into the space in which you can consume it. So, I appreciate your explanation. I appreciate your explanation previously. But for me personally, I was understanding it was taking me farther. But that absolutely, that puts it in the context of things that I do every day. And now that makes it make sense for me. And now it'll be easier for me to now implement this design pattern when I'm
Had
coding.
the DevOps it up.
Yeah,
I like the DevOps,
yeah, that was great. I really appreciate that. That was great.
I love that.
That's great.
That. Oh man.
REST APIs is what I need. We talked about some REST APIs. We talked about we did some API stuff a little bit. We didn't really talk specifically about REST versus web services and stuff. We can definitely talk about that. See, that's the stuff that I'm good at. That's the stuff that I'm really good at. I'm a huge API fan. Oh no.
What happened?
We cut out for a second. It was all good. Good example for singletons, all the configuration logger, etc. I love that. Thank you.
Loggers for sure. Yeah.
Dope. I like this. Now, is there anything cool we can do with this? I was trying to look to see if there was like a cool way we could change this, but I think I understand, but I'm not sure if I could do.
I think it's pretty.
It's like as simple.
It's pretty simple, straightforward. Yeah, there's not much you can play around with.
And so, do not fret if you are there. Again, there's always going to be a range of people of understandings when we kind of go through these things, and that's why I said focus on the concepts. It's okay if you like. This is actually a lot. Design patterns themselves are actually. We just learned classes, so like design patterns are not something that you need to implement, but they're things that help you code a little bit better, more cleanly, more efficiently.
It definitely helps you design your software for sure.
I agree, but there's a level of like this initialize once, use many times.
Yeah,
is a concept that I think coming from you're deep in the software land.
Yeah.
I think it takes a long time to even before you can even begin thinking about. Like in the beginning, you're brute forcing everything. You're brute forcing everything, and then you kind of can start to pick up these design patterns and learn how to think about how your code is structured, how it's laid out. These are very important. We will actually be doing a lot of like this is the stuff that I really love, like these kind of concepts and like really tying together, like brings the things together. So we'll definitely be focused. Like we'll definitely get some good design patterns.
I like that Golang thing, man. I love that. But if you go back to that print when you actually printed that thing out, like when you ran it, you see it printed the exact same instance.
Great point. Okay,
which is the whole kind of point of it. To that memory address.
All right, so I think I tried to explain it once. Sorry, my mouth was full of it's helping peanut M&Ms. I told you I stayed up super late last night. I woke up super early, but this is actually a memory address for your computer, and so if you have different objects, they'll actually show at different memory addresses. But this shows you it's referencing. We have 3 different. I guess instances of this object where we kind of initialized it or instantiated it. But when we print them, it's all referencing the same exact memory location. So it is using the same reference point there. And exactly what Terrence said before, that's great for garbage collection, for memory management, or if you know your application, if you know this class is going to take up a bunch of memory, this is a design pattern that can help you out with things like that.
Absolutely. And it also lets other programmers know what this should do and how to use it. You know what I mean? It's also helping your fellow coworkers and things like that. As soon as I say a singleton, I know, okay, this is not something that I should be just calling like willy-nilly. You know what I mean? Like it's like innate knowledge. Like I know natively what this should do.
Yeah.
And how to use it, which is always helpful when you're picking up, where you're coding behind people, coding with other people. Gonna make that readability very, very simple, easy as possible. Like a way to comment without commenting.
Sorry, I'm just going over here to follow CM Griffin.
You got to. You show that love.
For showing love.
Showing that love. How do you find you?
I don't know. Yeah, how did you find?
Thank you, bruh.
Give you a little bit of follow here. Oh, looks like you're doing some React.
Oh, React.
Just so you know, you're new to the channel. I believe you're new to the channel, but I am a DevOps engineer by trade. I was a DevOps engineer on a team. Technical lead left. I was fortunate enough to receive the technical lead position for an application. I'm the technical lead for an application team that's developing a JavaScript Node React application. So I had to learn React real fast, which
React? I didn't know that.
Which is very interesting coming from a DevOps background, a systems background. Like I knew Python enough. I had been learning Go like pretty heavily, but React really it whipped my butt. Like yo, React crushed me at first. Like I was like, this is the stupidest programming. Like I don't understand. I was so lost for like a week. Like things that were simple. I'll never forget this. My first actual task to do in React was to modify the colors of a map. I'm gonna show y'all the map right now.
Please do.
I'm gonna show you the map before we get into this next piece.
That's hilarious.
But I'm gonna show you the map because we had to make it more accessible. We had to make the map more accessible. Yeah.gov/ local assistance. This map right here, this beautiful hue you see over top. You can't really see it. I'll put in a Baltimore zip code. We had to modify it to, let me see. The contrast was off. The contrast for this was off. All I had to do was go in and change the colors of the map. Like that should be easy, right? That should be super easy. It was not easy. It was not easy for me at all because I didn't understand props. I didn't understand how data was getting passed in between things. I didn't understand how React was rewriting the screen when it kind of got updates and things like that. I didn't understand any of this stuff, and it killed me. Like it really was a tough thing, and having to actually the most junior engineer on our team, like I was like, can you please, like I was like, look, I didn't want to waste anyone's time. Like you guys are working on important stuff. I'm just changing colors. And I remember she just looked at me with such she was very kind about it. It was like, I got you. I'll walk you through it. And it really helped. It really helped. But I definitely I like React. I do like React. It's interesting. It seems like it's very easy to get into some weird paradigms that are tough to kind of go through. But it's good. It's good. I think it's overkill for what this website is. So I'm the technical lead for the kind of the digital footprint for the Small Business Administration. And so like for what this is, that might be a little bit heavy, a lot for mostly an informational site. We have some applications and things that we've written on here, but I don't know, pretty interesting. I've never used Angular. Again, I've done tons of backend stuff, very little serious front end stuff. So I've never had the opportunity to use Angular yet, but I heard that too. It definitely seems like React won the war. Seems like React won the war. I don't know. I don't know which one is better, again, because I find web development in particular to be, I don't know. I don't know. I find web development to be interesting. I find it to be interesting. It's cool. It's definitely much different than I originally expected it to be, and I think that's because it's transitioned what it was like over the past few years. I think new technologies like React and Angular have kind of changed the things that you can do, the scale at which you can do things. I think they've changed a lot, but I don't know. It's my brain doesn't like the way that you have to think for web development, or I don't even want to say front-end web development. It's not even front-end web development. I'm really keen on APIs and building APIs and RESTful APIs and web servers and things like that. But I don't know, man. Like I'm getting better at it, but it's something I'm certainly not great at, for sure. But we'll be doing some React on here as well. You have to. We'll definitely be doing some web development. Do you guys do any Rust on this channel? Great question. So yesterday, next Monday, we're going to talk about it more. Next Monday, we're starting 100 days of code. For anyone who does not know what 100 days of code is, it is it's a challenge. It's like a Twitter challenge. But basically, you publicly commit to doing 100 days of coding. Just work on it each day, make progress every day. I wanted to actually work on something that I did not know at all, and Rust is what I'm going to be doing. So I will likely be live streaming my journey probably on Saturday mornings or something, just kind of showing what I learned for the week and things like that. I'll give you more information specifically about that. What's up? I need to make this bigger. Alan's good. Alan is good. Welcome to the channel. Thank you for the follow. But I'm definitely like Rust is definitely like everyone who's went and go, who dove into Rust. People didn't like it at first, but people were starting to really like it. So I would like to add Rust to my tool belt. Also, Rust will give me a level of software development that I haven't yet gone into. Again, you're gonna have to do some garbage. From everything I can see, you're gonna have to do some garbage collection and things like. It's more C-like
manually
than Go. I don't think you have. I think there's some constraints around that, but yeah, I think it's very.
It's like C.
I think it's very C-like from what I've seen so far. But I'm definitely gonna dive into some Rust for sure.
That looks sense.
Yeah, about the memory layout and stuff. Yeah, I agree. I remember I used to until I learned Go. I always would have said a dynamically typed language, an interpreted dynamically typed language is better to learn first with. I wholeheartedly disagree with that now. If your goal is to be a good programmer, I think you can get a job. I think you can be very effective in your job if you just learn JavaScript, if you just learn Python, you just learn these things. I think that you get that much better if you start out with a statically typed compiled language that has kind of more rules. Has more rules, has more things that you need to take into consideration. I'm telling you, I learned, the first thing I learned was Python. I learned a little bit of Ruby, JavaScript, I was very proficient like with Bash and things like that. And then when I discovered Go and I went to a Golang workshop, and then I really started like giving it like some time and started to actually learn. Like I got so much better at everything else I was doing, just learning the concepts of Go. But yeah. Yes. All right, we got sidetracked. Let's keep working on a little bit of Python. Let's keep going. So you'd say Go is better than Python? So I like to stray away from. I am a believer of using the best tool for the job. I would not. There's a lot of things that I would use Python for that I would not use Go for. I think as a high level answer, I would say yes, but more so just because I prefer it. I like, again, it's all your use case. There's a lot of simple things that I much prefer doing. Little automation scripts. I much prefer to do it in Python, to be 100% honest with you, for ease of running, ease of interacting with the operating system, things like writing files and things like that, a little bit easier in Python. So again, best tool for the job. That's the reason why I use Mac, Linux, and PC. I'm a best tool for the job type of person.
I actually don't like the IO operations.
Mike asked.
Is that no?
Yeah, I'm assuming is that about the boobs? They're just different. Yes, they're both great. They're just different. I feel you. That makes sense. It's with program Rust will give you a major imposter syndrome for the first little bit. I believe that. Another shameless plug. I do have a video on imposter syndrome on my YouTube channel. One of my first, but I think it's pretty decent. I think the information there is good. The video is not amazing, but I think the information in it is solid. But yeah, I like that. I like feeling lost in a new technology and having to dive into it, only because I've given myself enough. I've talked to enough people. I've seen enough to know that, like, once you're confident that everyone doesn't know everything, it's really easy to get over that imposter syndrome. Like, I'm fine. Like, I know there are way better engineers out there than me, and I'm completely okay with that. As long as I have enough skills to, maintain a career, to solve problems, I'm cool with that. And I use that energy to strive for more. But the imposter syndrome thing it's super duper real. Like, as much as I tell you I love Fearless, I talk about Fearless all the time, I almost left because of imposter syndrome. I almost left because I was working with two of the best engineers. That I've ever met, and every day I just felt so stupid working with them. I felt so dumb working next to them. Like, they would just do stuff so fast. I'm like, man, I don't even know what I'm looking at. Like, what is this?
I think that's good though.
It is good.
You know what I mean? Put you in that fire a little bit.
But it's easy to internalize that. And me performing just fine just felt like I was not doing great because they were so amazing, and being like, yeah, I maybe should start looking for other jobs because
I love that.
It feels like I'm gonna get fired. But yeah, It takes time though. It definitely takes time. Everyone has to go through their own journey to kind of self like realization. But yeah, what's up? Man, hold on. Nope. I'm gonna make this larger because I want to see.
Oh, that's subscribe Prime.
Somniatic. What's up, Imno? Thank you for joining the family, Imno. Thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
I appreciate it.
Shout out to Noel.
All right, cool. So we were still with classes. What else? What else can we do with some classes? Actually, is there any other? Because they had these private methods. I wonder if they have any other interesting concepts here. Does anyone have any questions? First off, maybe it's a good time to stop and ask if anyone has any questions specifically about what we've done so far, kind of what we're doing, how to kind of use this stuff. Maybe you want something again contextualized. Does anyone have anything? Who is Noel?
Who is Noel?
Maybe I'm wrong.
No,
Okay. I was about to say. I was like, come on. Yes, Dunning-Kruger effect. I'm gonna pull that up while people are.
Why does that sound familiar?
Dunning-Kruger effect. It is
Yeah.
it is the journey that most people go through. So take a look at this. I think we've talked about this before. I believe I love this. I think it's super interesting. The first time I learned about it. But Dunning-Kruger effect.
Oh yes.
When you first start learning something, and this probably applied to these boot camps, to be honest. You first start learning something. You get Python installed. You learn a little bit about a variable. You learn how to display output with the print statement. And you're probably like, dang,
I can do this.
I can do this. Like, I got this. Everything's good. And your confidence goes way up, even though your competence is still pretty low. And then you start to realize how much is still ahead of you. So once you start to learn more, you start to realize there's still so much more distance you need to go before you're great. So your confidence, unfortunately, drops.
True.
And you feel less than like you know more. You're more competent, but because you now know more, you know how much farther you have to go, and your confidence starts to drop and go way down, and you end up here. You really do end up here when you're at average competence. You're way better than all the people over here. You're better off than all the people over here, but you feel not great because you've seen what's over here. You've seen and you understand the extent of what's over here, and if you fight through it, you start to go back up, and your confidence starts to match your
That's when you become
competence.
a developer to me, though. You have to, go through that dip, man. You have to keep persistent.
You have to do it, but it is hard. Nonetheless,
it's hard.
It is a difficult process. This is what happens. I think this is exactly what happens. Right here is where I think most people in their process stop learning. I think they stop learning right around here, and they kind of I wouldn't say give up, but this is a very look how sharp this fall is.
It's super sharp.
It's very defeating after a very quick win. It's like winning $1 million.
That was my first job,
and then like something happened, and now the government says, "Hey, bro, you owe me $980,000," and like I think it's like that, and you're like, my life's changed, and now it's ruined
immediately.
And I don't know. First time I saw this, I was like, I'm so glad there's a name for this because it's powerful. I think the more and more people know about things like this and kind of the paradigms.
So I'm curious, when did you go through your dip? Because I definitely know when I went through my dip.
I've gone through this dip 47 times, especially with an industry like DevOps. Like the tech industry is constantly changing. I think I'm more on the even for things that have average confidence, I'm higher up here only because now I've gone through this enough times to know. But when I was purely doing Linux stuff, this happened real fast. The first 6 months, I was like, I'm so good at everything that I do. And then I got off to I was being trained, and then I got off to the floor, game time.
Game time, baby.
And people would ask me simple questions. They would ask me they'll put in tickets like, bro, I need you to I need more disk space. I need you to extend this disk space. I'm like, hold up. I know how to change passwords. And I can put a file on your server, and I can download some stuff. I do not understand how to modify Linux file system partitions, do things like that. So it was very interesting.
That's hilarious.
I've gone through it a bunch of times. I'm also, I think someone just said that they're self-learner. I'm also mostly a self-learner. I taught myself a lot of what I know. I've learned a lot on the job, but a lot of what I've learned, I've taught myself, and I think that's when I think that contributes to it, to be honest, because you don't have the context around it. No one's walking you through it. No one's showing you the extent at which you should know something. And then you go to interview and someone will ask you about it. Someone who knows nothing about this thing will ask you a random question about it, and you're like, whoop.
Guess I won't get that job.
I guess I won't like this. I guess that thing's not for me. I got a long way to go, and it's really not like that at all. But
for me, my confidence was skyrocket high when I was in college. I was taking labs. I was in a couple CS classes, the intro to Java. I was like, oh, I got it. I can do this. I'm so smart. The exact same thing you talked about. And then I got my first job. And everybody knew, I swear, it was all C++ and C, and they knew Java, and they hired me specifically for Java. I didn't know C++. I still don't know C++ to this day. And I'm surrounded by all these PhDs and these smart people, and I'm like, bro, I don't know anything. But I think that goes back to you as a person. You have to be so uncomfortable with that feeling bad that you have to push through. And that's the only way I think you're gonna make it, dude. You got to keep going. What's something's funny here?
So I love to open up a ticket.
Bro, I need more disk space.
It was like that. Like not all the tickets were like that, but we're like, it was. I worked at 2 web hosting companies in a row, and you would get some people who would send in very structured messages, and then you would send in people who had problems all the time. They'd be like, "Look,
cousin,
like please, like just fix it, please. I need help.
I need help,
bro. I need help."
That's
but yeah.
Yes, but a good kind of pay. Yeah. Awesome. Y'all are crazy on here.
No, I did not drop files for the project yet. We're gonna drop those on the Sunday. We're gonna drop those on the DevOps Sunday. Maybe we'll drop them on maybe we'll drop them on Office Hours Friday, actually.
Okay, that's good.
Just so they're available, give people a weekend to kind of take a look at them and to get their head around stuff. To see if maybe you can start diving into it. So basically, it'll come with instructions. There'll be a full README with full instructions on all the points that we need to hit throughout the project, and then there will be subcode that will help assist you accordingly, get you going, give you a frame of reference to start with. I'll probably tell you exactly where you can start if you want to try it out without it. Like, feel free. Like, if you don't want to know the answer and you want to try it yourself, I encourage you not to watch the stream and try it out yourself. I really do, because you can always go back and watch it later. Like, I know you probably aren't supposed to tell people to not watch your stream, but no, I fully, there's so much power comes in trying to learn something. Even if you make zero progress on the actual task at hand, just you Googling things, trying to figure out what to Google is powerful. So I'll definitely do that. So I'll get it to you early. I think that's a good idea. Building front end and Python and back end with Go. Yeah, I mean, front end with Python, back end with Go, perfectly reasonable. I mean, you're gonna have to write some JavaScript too, most likely, but that's how they
played around with Django for a while.
Django's cool. Yeah. All right, I actually don't have anything for I can't think of any other specific class things that we're gonna do aside from. Actually, I'll just show you what we're gonna do. And maybe you can get a head start on this. A preview of specifically. So, for anyone who doesn't know, we're working with Exorcism. Exorcism. It's a site where you can practice. Coding problems. So there's 117 exercises on here. But what you can do is you can break it down by topics. So you can go down here and you can click classes. So on Wednesday, we're going to be learning how to solve some algorithms. So we might go through another sorting problem, or we'll figure something out to kind of attack maybe some of the bigger coding challenges that, like, the FANG companies ask, which I think are kind of dumb sometimes. But we can also hop in here and try out some of these where they'll actually give you a circular buffer. So I don't know what this is. We're not going to read it yet, but I'm going to download this. And I'm going to show you that they're going to give you the stub code. So anyone who, we've been talking about stub code. If you don't know what stub code is, let's show you what stub code is. Python. All right, so okay, so check that out. So I didn't read what it's asking us to do. I don't know what it's asking us to do yet, but they give you this code right here. So you got some classes that are already set up. There's a README in here that will tell you what it is that you need to do, and a test file. Whoops, split it. So it tells us what to do over here on the left. But on the right, it gives us kind of everything that we kind of need to get started. It gives us the structure. So you don't have to worry about like designing the application. I think that gets really tough. You can just start to fill in the actual logic of it. And again, that's not super easy. I'm not saying that you should be able to look at this and be like, yeah, I know exactly what to do. But stub code really does give you a good way to kind of get going. So feel free to dive into this stuff early.
They give you the stub code?
They give you the stub code. And they give you the test so that you know.
That's pretty nice.
They give you the stub code. I mean, they give you the test so you know how to solve it. So like, this is an art. This takes a while to get, to learn how to use the test to be able to write your code accordingly.
Oh, I know all this stuff.
Yeah. But so that's why we're not gonna look at that right now, but we are gonna be learning, we're gonna be practicing using those things on Wednesday. So if you want to check out the classes, filter by classes, filter by the topic classes, or anything else that you want to learn, anything that we've already talked about so far. We did conditionals. So if you feel confident with those things, you want to practice with conditionals and kind of get some practice there, you can pick something, integers, lists. These are things that we've learned already. Feel free to focus on some things and really kind of, hyper focus on what you want to pick up and pick up the concept. And then you can filter by difficulty. But feel free to check it out. That is what we're going to be doing on Wednesday, specifically attacking the class, attacking some of these, but attacking the class.
Focus in the classes, yeah.
Yes. Also, I think I created a team.
Is this free, Exorcism?
Yeah, it's free. What's up, Warlord Tully? Welcome. There are 8 members here. Let me see if I can share. Is there a thing for this? Is there like a Exorcism team? Yeah, I did create that. So join the team if you want to join the Exorcism
so
team.
Excited.
Because I was like, I think I did this, but I couldn't remember if I did this for sure. You can join that team, and it's pretty exciting. Any PowerShell? So I'm sorry. I'm for sure open to doing some PowerShell. I think I've used PowerShell before. PowerShell is powerful, for sure. It's in the name. But probably not now, just because I don't know PowerShell that well. Something I need to learn. I can learn it pretty fast, I'm sure, but I would need to drum up some good ideas on what problems to solve with it. And I'm getting, but it's likely in the future because I get a lot of Windows specific requests. Like, when are you gonna do some Windows stuff? And I'm like,
good luck with that one.
I don't know. I do use Windows. I do, in fact.
Actually, no.
I do, in fact, use Windows.
It was all Windows, yeah.
Okay, yeah. I would love for you to be able to pass over those things. I think they're fun. I think they're fun.
It's good to know both, though.
Coding game, which has been a lot of fun for me. It's a coding game. Let me check that out. I don't know anything about that. I love this stuff as well. Also, I love the resources. I love when people share these resources with me. So one thing I'm passionate about. Oh, this looks pretty.
Well, that's awesome.
I love that there's so many everyone's gamifying coding. Like, there's so many ways to gamify coding. Do I have to create an account? Probably.
Oh, I'm gonna do this live.
This is nice.
I'm gonna code this.
This is cool.
Thank you. Who did that?
This is dope.
Thank you, Bly7.
You have Go on here.
Bly7's on fire.
That's pretty dope. And these are things that are good to pass to. I try to do a lot of stuff with Baltimore City Schools and various like kids organizations around here. Just because, to me, man, if you can know the basics of programming by the time you go to college, like if you can just know variables, if you can know like variables, like loops, like conditionals,
stuff,
and like a function. By the time you go to college, like you are so far ahead of the game. And if you're gonna, if you can give kids who may not even go to college, who probably won't go to college, these skills, it gives them such a leg up to kind of get started and be confident in it. So yeah, so like I love resources like this that are enticing, and that you can use to like really teach something.
Let me see anything, but something I actually don't.
Anything? How about D? I don't know. F sharp.
Good to go. Let's see what it go.
Groovy. I don't like groovy. That's probably pretty small for you all.
I literally took a typing class in high school. I knew nothing.
I can't. So I need to take a typing class right now. I'm gonna give you guys an update soon on my typing skills. They're getting better.
Bad. You're not a picker. You're not a that thing. Okay, this is very
cool.
basic. Yeah.
My scanning. All right, this is cool.
I'm gonna probably I want to get.
We're gonna use this. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely. Thank you.
I'm gonna change the level of it.
I mean, hey, look, I'm not making any jokes. We said it like so. All right, I'll tell you this right now. Let me tell you something. I'm trying to be I'm trying to be a grown up. It's tough sometimes. So I went to all boys high school, and that assisted in keeping me to laugh at childish things. I gotta stop. I really gotta stop. But so you're gonna hear me say things.
It's the joy of life.
I'm laughing in my head or like being a child in my head. But I don't know, man. Everyone's like I don't think I'm ever gonna feel like a grown up. I turned 30 this year. I'm not gonna feel like a grown up. I'm never gonna feel like a grown up. Can I post a link for Grasshopper? Yeah, post whatever you want. Hopefully it shouldn't. I don't think Nightbot will remove it. Post whatever you want. I basically give everyone the benefit of the doubt. That is if you're on here trying to learn tech, even if I don't feel as though, and maybe this is wrong, I don't feel as though I should protect you from everything that's out there. I think it's a learning experience. If someone shares something stupid and you should click on it, I think there's even that is a valuable learning experience. Yes. Like fishing. I mean, I would try. I don't know. It's a really tough. It's a really tough thing for me to. I mean, if I see a link that's obviously ridiculous. Oh yeah, the Grasshopper app. I'm gonna check that out.
Oh, is this?
I'm gonna check that out because I've heard good things about it. It's got amazing reviews.
Is this like for kids?
No, I think it's for everyone.
Okay.
Best EdTech of 2018. That's cool. Okay.
Nice. Remember Alice?
For everyone. Yeah, we are kids. We are children. Great for lunch break. That's dope. There's so many resources, and I think right now the problem is they're kind of dispersed around, and everyone's attacking it from a different angle, which I respect that. But again, one of the open source projects that we are going to be implementing, I've talked about it so many times, but I'm trying to find some time to do. I want to do it with you all. I want to do it I don't want to just have us kind of build this thing. I want to do it. I want to be fully open source. What we're going to try to do is our goal is going to be to curate this content that's on the internet. There's a lot of free coding content out there. But what if you could have a platform that people can submit some markup or markdown or a text file that has a list of, a heading. And maybe if you want to learn Python, maybe exactly like the curriculum is kind of on the site, or something different, but where you provide a link to some videos, a link to some documentation, a link to some blog post resources, but you can create learning courses and pathways that people can follow with free content that already exists. I think would be very interesting, and I think it's certainly doable. Certainly, I don't know how people would take to it, but I think it would be a fun open source project that would give people an opportunity to contribute to something, as well as may become a platform that, everyone can't pay for lynda.com, can't pay the $25 a month for lynda.com. But if you're an expert in machine learning or data science or machine learning, you can submit a PR to GitHub that has, the right pathways of things that you need to learn, and videos and supporting material to kind of go through that. And hopefully V1 probably wouldn't have any type of like tracking of progression, but definitely want to get in some tracking of your progress there so people can follow their ways through courses. But again, there's no good way. Like, the people will put out some stuff. I've seen some good stuff on people have put out some repos and things on GitHub for specific topics. But what if you had a place where people can kind of go straight there, get everything from there? I don't know. I think it'll be fun, and I think it would be a fun project to just try to tackle together, like live, like just build this thing, like build a thing that we don't even know what we're trying to do yet, like fully.
That'd be fun.
It'd just be fun. I think it'll be really fun to try to do. So if anyone's interested in that, I am really things will be changing significantly in the coming months. But I'm trying to get things moving before then. There was only a DevOps Academy that could unite them all in one spot. Excellent. I like where your head's at. No, I mean, great. If this is I think this was also interesting. People have asked me about this before. I love doing this. This is a fun thing for me. I love being able to share. I love to be able to learn, like, and to just hang out with people. Like, y'all are cool. Like, if this is the thing that can do that, can unite some things and kind of get some structure behind some of the stuff, great. If there's something else that we need to support to make that happen, I'm open to that. Like, the goal here is genuinely to help, just help people get into tech through whatever means. You're never going to see me not sending, if people post good links to other things. If you have a channel where you're doing stuff as well, like, I'm going to support all of those things because, again, I'm a firm believer that everyone learns differently from different people. Thanks. I think we all have something different to give. I think you got to learn different stuff from different places. And the goal is to get people ready for jobs, man. The tech industry has a lot of opportunity. But what I would say is, I hope that when everyone's ready, when you're looking for a job, when you're ready, shoot us your resume. We're going to be doing. We're really going to be advocating for devs. I got into a whole argument over the weekend on LinkedIn, actually, with a recruiter who basically was like, "It's not my job to understand what you guys do. My job is to help find you a job. If basically, if you knew how to do that yourself, you wouldn't need us." And I was like, "Whoa! See, this is why this is crazy, man. Like." All these people out here advocating for engineers. And if you're a recruiter, I'm not. This is not a attack on recruiters. But for them to feel like they
don't even have to understand and know what we do is kind of like crazy.
I think it's more powerful. In my experience, I've had issues with recruiters where they asked me what I was looking for, and I told them what I was looking for, and they presented me with lots of options which were not in alignment with where my career trajectory was going. And again, that's not necessarily their faults. It is a lot of information. It's hard to be able to pick those things up and know what things are good to get me where that end goal is that I told you I wanted to go. But that doesn't mean that that's not something that people need. I think that's something that people need. And I think because we do this every day, we've done this every day, I think we can better support the engineer. Again, the goal is not to be this big giant company that is filling 20 seats a month, or or hundreds of seats a month or whatever. Like, the goal is just to advocate for people who are trying to get in the industry. Like how can a recruiter, like right now, recruiters get your resume, and if you don't have 6 years of Docker experience, even though Docker has been out for like 7 years, like they're like, oh, but you don't have this experience, and it's hard for them to advocate for you because they don't understand how what you know and what you've learned fits into the actual software development process, and what they can't quite understand your aptitude in the same way that that other engineers can, to be 100% honest. So that's gonna be the goal. So when you guys are looking for jobs, we're gonna give you a more formal place to put things. We're kind of building some stuff out right now. Yes, we are. But like we want to advocate for you all. The goal is to start a pipeline, is to really help connect people with people who want people like you. Like I've actually talked to companies who are like, hey, I'm almost interested in anyone who's watching your stream, because that shows me how interested they are, taking their time in the evenings to better themselves. I was like, great. That's well, fantastic. When you're serious, let me know. So yes. Yes, I agree. The best recruiters that I've come into contact with as well work for the company in which they're recruiting for. I 100% I agree with that, and that's interesting for me to tell you that coming from someone who's not going to be doing exactly that. But I agree because again, they have the context also. They have the context of what the company actually does, what the company is like. Also, they have the context of they have those touch points with the technical, the both engineering and the leadership of what is in the realm of possibility, what they're kind of open to. Agency recruiters, that's what they're called, agency recruiters. These outside recruiters don't necessarily get that insight. And I think that again, our backgrounds are what take us closer to in-house recruiters for all companies. But yeah, I mean. But I promise you, we're not going to be hitting you up on LinkedIn like, bro, got this urgent
I will.
need.
I definitely will be doing.
I will not be like, yo, got this urgent need for a software engineer in Cali.
No, not like that. No.
But when you're interested, this is what I love. I love this stuff. But I mean, while this is in itself is a viable business model to create a sustainable company. Adding in the recruitment and placement.
But also, it's because we are engineers. We're not just looking for hard keywords. We can find somebody who can actually do that job because we know what it takes in the skill level, stuff like that, in background. So,
and they really make things worse. Like having them not there at all would improve things. Yes. See, our internal. Oh, you said your internal recruiters. That's interesting. I can see that as well. I've had so many different experiences with recruiters. The requirements is for sure a wish list. But when you don't know, it's definitely a wish list.
Yeah, but you can't have 50 things on there either. It's like 50 things.
They only recruit with the requirements they're given. I mean, they only recruit. Yes.
That's true.
I don't want to make things worse. Having so we have a Fearless. Fearless has a pretty great internal recruiter, to be honest. I have been impressed by seeing how someone can when they're given the opportunity to again, it's hard to learn really what the company is about. It's been pretty interesting. And so far my experience with internal recruiters is much better than with agency recruiters. Again, I'm sorry if you're an agency recruiter. I'm not coming at anyone specifically. I'm just talking about my own personal experiences with agency recruiters. I've had good experience with agency recruiters. I've gotten jobs through agency recruiters. Very convenient. I think that they can be convenient. And I think they get more convenient the further you get in your career. It gets pretty easy for them to place you places. But again, you gotta. It becomes convenient if the right job kind of comes across their table. Right. I've actually had agency recruiters I've had their companies post a job that was exactly what I wanted to do. Right. They were pushing me for another job, and when I inquired about the job they just posted, they were basically nah,
what they say exactly?
Basically, what I could tell is that it wasn't their posting. It was someone else's department, internally posting, and they didn't want to pass me over to someone new, which was very interesting. So it wasn't about me. It was about them, and and I get it. It's your livelihood. I get that, but it's also my livelihood, and I want to do things that are going to be best for me and my family. But
I also say it's not just a blind statement about all recruiters. It depends on the actual person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just that field is.
So sure enough, you have said it perfectly. You get rid of the recruiters, then the engineers don't have time to That is one of the biggest problems as well.
That's facts, big facts.
But even now, though, recruiters bring you someone, and then you still have to vet them. You still have to take your engineers. They bring you people, but you still have to take your engineers off of their projects, especially if they're billable, super problematic. It's expensive to have them, look over, evaluate these 5 people or whatever. I mean, the whole process is tough. It really is a tough process. And we're not looking to solve the process, but we're looking to add some. We're looking to fill in some gaps in the process from the pain points that we see. Right. Same thing with tech education with ed tech. One of the things is, man, these boot camps are super expensive. College is super expensive. Why can't it be free? We have scalable models in which we can do things nowadays. How can you how do you change that? And I don't know. That's what we're gonna have fun doing these things. The worst thing that could happen is we build a couple apps and learn more, and can use those resources later. But for sure. Plus, companies don't want to pay more for recruiters. I agree with you. Definitely agree with you. What are your thoughts on working for AWS? I would work for AWS. I would work for them. From everyone I know who works with AWS, they like AWS. I only know one person who doesn't, but he doesn't like anywhere that he works, to be honest. But yeah, everywhere's different. I think every department is even different at AWS. The company as big as AWS. I hear there's no work-life balance. Yeah, that's certainly, I believe that. I will say this. I'll say this about. I'll say this about the tech industry and that no work-life balance thing. Work-life balance is very important. It's extremely important. That's the biggest reason why I've been where I am now for so long. I was jumping places like every year for just more money, more exposure, and work-life balance is more important to me than ever. Than ever. I will say when you're super hungry and if you're in the position to have that extra time that you can put forth, I'm just putting this out there as someone who did not grow up crazy wealthy, working at a place like Amazon, where the work-life balance sucks, but the pay can be pretty significant quarterly bonuses and things like this. You can change your life in a year. Like, you can change the course of your life in a year working at some place like that. You can go from having $0 in savings to working there for a year, getting significant experience, and having almost six figures cash money in the bank.
And your life will change.
But I'm not saying that to chase. I'm saying that sometimes you can use these things as a tool. I'm not like work-life balance is the number one thing. I'm saying if you evaluated all these things, I think these are the opportunities that I'll talk about that tech provides. And I think it's fair to kind of understand those things. Don't kill yourself. I do not kill yourselves working. I'm telling you,
it's a personal choice. Though.
It is a personal choice. I would take care of yourself. If you're mentally okay with that, great. But I think you got to find that balance. Know that if someone's working you super hard right now and you're not happy, it's okay to like. It's not supposed to be like that. So everyone isn't out here killing themselves at tech companies. Everyone is not out here killing themselves. No. So I don't know. Be strategic about that. I just want to let people know that you can use these things as tools. I know someone who's used exactly that. Like, basically, he does that for like a year. Works at a big company, gets a signing bonus. Works a place with stock options. Works there for a year or two until they vest. And goes and works a more comfortable position for 2 to 3 years and kind of goes back and forth. And he has a significant amount of savings. He travels from coast to coast. He spends winters in Vermont, actually, because he likes to ski, and spends summers out on all the rest of the year out on the West Coast, which is interesting. I'm just, again, I know everyone's always like, be happy. Yeah, absolutely. But I think you can use these opportunities, especially now, and how in demand these roles are. You can use them to your advantage. So be strategic. It's okay. It is okay they're using you as tools. Like you can use these companies as tools.
You do not feel bad.
And it's stepping stones as well. Yeah, you killed yourself for a year. You got paid for it, but you also got the experience that you can take with you elsewhere. Other companies may find that experience incredibly valuable, and you may have a job where everything's great and they're paying you accordingly still. So I don't know. Just throwing. Yeah, AWS also does look good on the resume. I was actually, before I was going to start doing this, I was actually going to go work at. I was actually going to try to go to Google or Google or just a bigger company, so like Under Armour's here in Baltimore.
Facebook hit me up.
And I was like, those things will look good also for this. Just to, you guys don't know me. When people come across the channel, you don't know me. How do your credibility? Those things provide a lot of credibility for people, and these are just real things. These are just actual statements. If I say I'm the engineer from Under Armour or from Google or from Facebook or it just sounds better. I'm glad I didn't, to be 100% honest.
Yeah.
But tools, man, tools. You can You can
I
use
do
these
think
things
about
as
that
tools.
Facebook opportunity, but I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of happy how things worked out. Honestly, at the end of the day.
I've never been on call, and I have and you 6-figure salary. Yes, yeah. So that's what's crazy. I am not on call. Like I think technically I'm on call, but like not really. And I haven't been called in literally years. I have not had to. I've not had to respond to an outage or anything like that. And I'm making more than I've ever made before. Again, which is really nice. But I also spent time. Working at 2 places full time at the exact same time, where I was on call for both of them. But that was a tool for me at the time to kind of get through a roadblock that I had. Again, I do have stories for days. I'll tell you guys how Easy Pass. I'll tell you how Easy Pass one day, man, really messed. They got me good. Almost ruined my life. I had to pay Easy Pass a significant amount of money.
I remember you told me.
So I'll tell you that'll come later. That'll come on Friday. We'll talk about that on Friday. I'll give you that story on Friday. So tune in Friday for office hours and Overwatch if you want to know a little bit about that. But yeah. Let's see. Overseas is a good place to get a job because tax free. That makes sense. That's pretty cool. I did for 4 years. Please explain. That sounds great. Up to your whole life. Young and no kids, not much. Yeah, see, exactly. Like it was easy for me. Everyone can't do it, but yeah, I had very little responsibilities, to be honest. This was before I got married. I was with my wife. Well, I was with my now wife, but we were just, we were trying to be adults at the time. We didn't live together or anything like that, so it was pretty easy. 2 places full time was ridiculous. It was nuts. It was out of control. Luckily, they were off. So one was Sunday through Thursday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then one was Tuesday through.
You're a psycho.
Friday was Tuesday through Friday, but it was 10-hour shifts. So I only had an overlap. I only had a little bit of an overlap. I was only like killing myself. Like one was at night, one was in the afternoon, one was at night, overnights. I had a day off.
Dude.
It killed me. It killed me.
Terrible.
Easy Pass, man. I'm making more right now at one job than I was making at those 2 jobs. But at the time, less responsibility. I felt crazy rich. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, being on call is a no go for me. I agree, man.
I'm not a fan, bro.
Yeah. You identify yourself as a Google engineer, for example, and don't clear that with Google first, they don't agree with, they will terminate you and sue you for that. Wow.
I didn't know that.
That makes sense, though. That makes sense. I wonder how the tech lead is surviving right now. Yeah. But cool. 10 o'clock. Tonight was fun. I like tonight. Yeah, we didn't get to dive that. We learned some interesting coding concepts. I learned something great with the concept of singletons. Thank you, both Terrence, and thank you. Who put that into context for me? I'm gonna give you a shout out. I'm gonna start giving people shout outs on social media.
Derp. It was Derp.
Derp. I'm giving you a shout out on social media because that was powerful for me, and you helped me a lot there. Pretty dope. But I hope what you got out today is we talked about polymorphism. We talked about the different ways you can see different outcome of the methods and things that you create based on kind of how you set things up. And that paradigm can be used to solve different problems. So dive into polymorphism a little bit if you do not. If you didn't get that concept, dive into it a little bit more. You might have to try to learn it 5 times before you get the concept. To be honest, but it's okay. Try it, read something new about it. Try an example, run an example. One day it'll click for you.
Absolutely.
Don't sweat that. 2, we messed around with classes some more. We learned about singletons tonight, so that was pretty dope. So read up on singletons, rewatch the video if you need to learn a little bit more about singletons. And then we just had some great conversation. What's coming up. On Wednesday we're actually going to be solving problems the entire time. We're going to be solving problems using classes, so we'll still be putting together all the algorithmic problem solving that we've been kind of learning in the first 2 pieces of algorithms, but this time we'll be incorporating basically everything that we've learned so far in these algorithms. Then we'll take that knowledge next week and we'll dive in and we'll build a sweet blackjack game. So that should be pretty fun. And then we'll have a little bit bigger. Immediately we'll go straight into a bigger project. The following week, we'll be doing stuff with the web. We'll be doing some web scraping just to give you a little preview of what we're going to be doing. And that data that we're going to be pulling from the web, we're going to be doing some sweet stuff with it to create a cool application. But that is what we're going to be doing. Thank you for the raid. I followed you. Sorry, I forgot your name. I'm trying to scroll back up to get your name, but I appreciate it. I appreciate everyone who came through for the raid and stuck around. Tonight was pretty great. But yeah, is it even legal to work 2 jobs? It is. You get taxed. I
tried to work 2 software engineering jobs, and one of the jobs found out that I had a job, and they were like, no. And I was like, what do you mean, no? Like, just hold me down, bro.
Don't tell them.
Don't tell them. Learn.
But cool. Everybody have a great night. If you're interested in the DevOps stuff tomorrow, what do we have on DevOps tomorrow? Oh, this is containers week. So we just dove into containers. We started containers yesterday, Docker specifically. We are diving deeper into Docker tomorrow. So we're going to be diving a little bit deeper into Docker, talk about how to manage these containers, persisting data, best practices, and we're actually going to be building out some much larger Docker files. We did very basic stuff yesterday because the concepts are pretty tough, and it took us 3 hours. It took us more than 3 hours. I think we streamed for 3.5 hours yesterday. So we'll be diving deeper into containers, and then we'll be taking that stuff to a next level next week with container orchestration. We'll be diving into Docker Compose, Docker Swarm, and the big boy Kubernetes. We'll be diving into Kubernetes. We'll do an intro here, but we will only be using Kubernetes on March 10th. Which is my dad's birthday. Shout out to my father. He's like, I guess it's like 67, 68. But yeah, cool.
Post the Mastermind YouTube channel in here. And they ask me about.
Oh yeah, YouTube ! YouTube. There we go. Subscribe. All this stuff does go up to a playlist on there. And so will other things eventually. I'm gonna say it every day. It's not for you. It's for us to encourage us to. We have a lot of content planned for YouTube. Because I think the conversations that we had here are better immortalized kind of on the YouTube platform. We're going to continue to have them here, but these conversations are the types of things that are going to be on YouTube, not necessarily the training, but more these concepts about the Dunning-Kruger effect and things like that kind of affect you. Learning how to navigate the technical industry is the stuff that's going to be on there. So glad tonight was great. Thanks for all the chat. Thanks for making the stream fun. I think it's really an ode to everyone in the chat, everyone, you guys, for like making this feel like a community. I genuinely appreciate it. It's something I look forward to every day. Every day that I have more than 3 hours of sleep, like I had last night. But I'm gonna go get a lot of sleep right now.
Pass out, bro.
It's gonna feel so good. It's gonna feel so good. So appreciate it.
They gonna be sexy, yo.
Catch you next stream. See y'all tomorrow, or I'll see you next week if you're coming back for Python stuff. Thank you, RJ93 Gaming. Thank you very much for the sub. I really appreciate it. A bunch of people probably just rolled out because I just said let's go. But we're gonna rate somebody. We gotta rate somebody. Like, it's been a while. Who's on?
Dalright's on. Lena Lux is on. Adam C.
Anyone new?
Rage Fuck with a Child.
Okay. That sounds delicious for sure. Dow's on. I don't know. I don't know this person, but there aren't a lot of people streaming right now, so we're gonna go. Yeah, we're not gonna go down right. We're not gonna go down right now. We're gonna go to Strager. I don't know who this guy is, but he's doing some code help and code reviews. We'll check him out just for a bit and see what's going on here. But yeah, I don't know. Should be fun. Strager. Let's head on over. I think I've seen him for a little bit. We're heading over in 10 seconds. Actually, we're heading over in 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, everybody. Have a good night. I'll see y'all later.